Hello students, a warm welcome to you. Myself Patel Arpita from Paramguru Pashala English Medium School, Sarsa. Today I am going to discuss Social Science subject Standard 6 History Unit number 2 from hunting gathering to growing food. Now, again I am repeating the unit name from gathering to growing food. Now, what we are going to study in this chapter? In this chapter, we study the following points. First, the earliest people. Why were they on the move? Second, how do we know about these people? Third, choosing the place to live in. Fourth, finding out about the fire. Fifth, a changing environment. Sixth, the beginning of farming and herding. So, let's begin now. Here, Tusar's train journey. Tusar was going from Delhi to Chennai for his cousin's wedding. They were traveling by train and he had managed to squeeze into the window seat, his nose glued to the glass pane. As he watched trees and houses fly past, his uncle tapped his shoulder and said, "Do you know that trains were first used about 150 years ago and that people began using buses a few decades later?" Tushar wondered, when people couldn't travel quickly from one place to another, did they spend their entire lives whatever they were born? So his uncle said no. They also used to move. Now we discuss the first point. The earliest people. Why were they on the move? We know about people who lived in the subcontinent as early as 2 million years ago, and we describe them as hunter-gatherers. The name comes from the way in which they got their food. Generally, they hunted wild animals, caught fish and birds, gathered fruits, roots, nuts, seeds, leaves, stalks, and eggs. Now, hunter-gatherers moved from place to place. So, there are many reasons for this. First, if they had stayed at one place for a long time, they would have eaten up all the available plant and animal resources. Therefore, they would have had to go elsewhere in search of food. Second, animals move from place to place, either in search of smaller prey or, in the case of deer and wild cattle, in search of grass and leaves. That is why those who hunted them had to follow their environment. Third, plants and trees bear fruit in different seasons. So, people may have moved from season to season in search of different kinds of plants. Fourth, people, plants, and animals need water to survive. Where is water found? Water is found in lakes, streams, and rivers. While many rivers in lakes are perennial with water throughout the year, others are seasonal. People living on their banks would have had to go in search of water during the dry seasons, winter and summer. Now, let's learn the next topic. How do we know about them? Archaeologists have found some of the things hunter-gatherers made and used. It is likely that people made and used tools of stone, wood and bone, of which stone tools have survived best. How did hunter-gatherers use the stone tools? Some of these stone tools were used to cut meat and bone, scrape bark from trees, and hide animal skins, chop fruit and roots. Some may have been attached to handles of bone or wood to make spear and arrows for hunting. Other tools were used to chop wood, which was used as firewood. Wood was also used to make huts and tools. Now, let us see the places that they chose to live in. So, look at the map. All the places marked with red triangles are sites from which archaeologists have found evidence of hunter-gatherers. Hunter-gatherers lived in many more places. Only some are shown on the map. Many sites were located near sources of water such as rivers and lakes. Now, and stone tools were very important for the hunter-gatherers as stone tools were important. People tried to find places where good quality stone was easily available. How we can see one of the Paleolithic site, that is Bhimbetka, which is in present day Madhya Pradesh. This is an old site with caves and rock shelters. People chose these natural caves because they provided shelter from the rain, heat, and wind. These rock shelters are close to the Narmada Valley. Now, this is the another image of Bhimbetka cave. Here we can see some rock paintings, and what they tell us. Many of the caves in which these early people lived have paintings on the walls. Some of the best examples are from Madhya Pradesh and southern Uttar Pradesh. These paintings show wild animals drawn with great accuracy and skill. Now, let us learn what you mean by sites. So we can say that sites are places where the remains of things, tools, pots, buildings, etc. were found. These were made, used, and left behind the people. These may be found on the surface of the earth, buried under the earth, or sometimes even under water. You will learn more about different sites in later chapters. Now, let us find out about the fire. So find that Kurnool caves on map. Traces of ash have been found here. This suggests that people were familiar with the use of fire. So we can ask questions. How did hunter-gatherers use fire? So we can say that fire could have been used for many things, as a source of light, to roast meat, and to scare away animals. Now we have another question also. What do we use fire for today? So we can say that we use fire for cooking, then generating heat, lightning, etc. Now we discuss about names and dates. So archaeologists have given lengthy names for the time that we are studying. They call the earliest period Paleolithic. This comes from two Greek words. Paleo means old and lithos means stone. The name points to the importance of finds of stone tools. The Paleolithic period extends from 2 million years ago to about 12,000 years ago. This long stretch of time is divided into the lower, middle, and upper Paleolithic. This long span of time covers 99% of human history. Now, the period we find environmental changes beginning about 12,000 years ago till about 10,000 years ago is called Metholithic, means middle stone. Stone tools found during this period are generally tiny and are called microliths. Microliths were probably stuck on the handles of ponds or wood to make tools such as saws and sickles. At the time, older varieties of tools continued to be in use. The next stage, from about 10,000 years ago, is known as the Neolithic. So, what do you think the term Neolithic means? So, we have also mentioned the names of some places. You will find the names of more places in later chapters. Very often we use present day names of the places where people lived in the past because we do not know what they call them. Now let us discuss about and learn about a changing environment. Around 12,000 years ago, there were major changes in the climate of the world with a shift to relatively warm conditions. In many areas, this led to the development of grasslands. This in turn led to an increase in the number of deer, antelope, goat, sheep, and cattle. For example, animals that survived on grass. Those who hunted these animals now followed them, learning about their food habits and their breeding seasons. It is likely that this helped people to start thinking about hunting and rearing these animals themselves. Fishing also became important. Now, what was the beginning of farming and herding? This was also a time when several grain bearing grasses, including wheat, barley, and rice, grew naturally in different parts of the subcontinent. Man women, and children probably collected these grains as food and learned where they grew and when they ripened. This may have led them to think about growing plants on their own. In this way, people became farmers. People could also attract and then tame animals by leaving food for them near their shelters. The first animal to be tamed was the wild ancestors of the dog. Later, people encouraged animals that were relatively gentle to come near the camps where they lived. These animals, such as sheep, goat, cattle, and also the pig, lived in herds and most of them ate grass. Often people protected these animals from attacks by other wild animals. This is how they became herders. So, this was the beginning of the beginning of farming and herding. Now you can have quick look at the keywords. So first, hunter gatherers means people who hunted animals and gathered fruits and food from plants. Second, sites are places where the remains of things were found, like tools, pots, buildings. Then Paleolithic, Old Stone Age, time from 2 million years ago to 12,000 years ago. Then Mesolithic, Middle Stone Age, from 12,000 years ago to 10,000 years ago. Then microliths, stone tools, which are smaller in size, probably used with wood or bone. Then Neolithic, New Stone Age, from about 10,000 years ago. Now I hope that you understood these different kinds of points of this lesson. Now remaining points we will see in next video. Thank you.